The war fleet emerged from hyperspace with the precision of a surgical strike. 300 vessels, each carrying the firepower to crack a moon, materialized in Earth's orbit like vengeful gods descending upon an insolent child. Commander Zixter of the Galactic Council Enforcement Division stood on the bridge of the flagship Righteous Verdict, his crystalline exoskeleton gleaming under the harsh white lights. For 17 cycles, the Council had debated humanity's fate. For 17 cycles, they had argued over whether this young, aggressive species deserved extermination or subjugation. The humans had made the choice for them. "Scan the planet," Zixter commanded, his voice reverberating through his species' natural resonance chambers. "Locate their population centers. We strike the capitals first." The sensor officer, a Relixian with 6 manipulator arms, worked frantically across multiple interfaces. Seconds passed, then minutes. The officer's biorhythmic patterns shifted to confusion. "Commander, there's nothing," explained. "No energy signatures. No thermal readings consistent with their cities. No electromagnetic emissions. The planet is—" The officer's voice trembled. Silent. Zixter felt an unfamiliar sensation creep through his neural pathways. Uncertainty. He approached the viewport and stared at the blue marble below. Earth hung in the void, serene and beautiful, exactly as the reconnaissance images had shown 17 cycles ago, but empty. Aboard the human colony ship Odyssey's Promise, Reese stood before the observation deck, her arms crossed as she watched the Council fleet through long-range sensors. At 26, she was young for a ship captain, but the evacuation had demanded rapid promotions and even more rapid decisions. "They actually came," she murmured. Beside her, Axel pulled up a holographic display, his fingers dancing through the data streams. 17 cycles. That's about 34 Earth years. He let out a low whistle. "We've been gone for 34 years, and they're just now showing up to punish us." Reese smiled, though there was no humor in it. The Council always was slow. Too many species, too many voices, too much bureaucracy. "Should we hail them?" Axel asked. "Not yet. Let them wonder." On the Righteous Verdict, panic was beginning to set in among the crew. Zixter ordered landing parties to 12 major human cities. What they found defied explanation. The cities stood intact. Buildings reached toward the sky, streets laid out in geometric precision, parks with trees still growing, but not a single human remained. No bodies, no signs of struggle, no indication of plague or disaster. In New York, the landing party found a digital display still running in what had been Times Square. It showed a simple message. Updated in real time, Council Fleet Detection. Day 1, we've been gone for 34 years. Welcome to an empty world. In Beijing they found museums perfectly preserved, with exhibits showcasing human history from the cave paintings of Lascaux to the first Mars colonies. In Mumbai, the teams discovered massive hydroponic gardens still functioning, tended by autonomous systems, feeding no one. It was in Geneva, at the site of the old United Nations building, that they found the message clearly meant for them. A massive monument had been erected in the plaza, crystal obelisk that activated when the Council forces approached. A hologram flickered to life. A human woman, elderly but fierce-eyed, appeared. "To the Galactic Council," she began, her voice strong despite her apparent age. "By the time you see this, humanity will have been gone for decades. When your scout ships first arrived, when you began your debates about what to do with us, we understood something fundamental about the galaxy. We were not welcome as equals. We would either be conquered or caged." The hologram paused, as if for dramatic effect. "So we chose a third option. We left." Reese watched the transmission that her great-grandmother had recorded, even though she'd seen it 100 times. The words still gave her chills. "How many of us are out there now?" Axel asked, reviewing the fleet manifest. "Last count, 42,000 ships, 17 billion humans spread across 300 colony worlds in 14 galaxies." Reese pulled up a star map. The colonies glowed like fireflies across an impossible distance, and the Council doesn't know about a single one. Humanity had learned a crucial lesson early. In a galaxy full of ancient, powerful civilizations, survival didn't come from fighting for a seat at the table. It came from building your own table, far away from those who would never let you sit as equals. The evacuation had taken 12 years. Every man, woman, and child, every cultural artifact that could be moved, every seed, every embryo, every digital record of human achievement. They'd used experimental quantum drives, technology born from desperation and human ingenuity. They'd scattered to the cosmic winds, each fleet going in a different direction. each colony established beyond the Council's known space. Earth remained as a monument, a museum, a message. Zixta read the final words of the hologram message. You came to judge us, to decide our fate, but you took too long. 34 years too long. In that time, we became something you never expected, irrelevant to us. We don't need your council. We don't need your laws or your protection or your conquest. We've built our own future, in places you'll never find, among stars you've never named. Earth is yours, if you want it. An empty trophy for an empty victory. We hope it was worth the debate. The hologram faded. Across the fleet, the council species stood in stunned silence. They had come as executioners and found only ghosts. They had brought overwhelming force against an enemy that had simply walked away. Commander, the communications officer said quietly, what are your orders? Zixta stared at the Earth, at the empty cities and functioning systems, at a world that continued to breathe without the species that had built it. We return to the council, he said finally, and we tell them that humanity is gone. What he didn't say, what he couldn't say, was the truth that terrified him. Humanity wasn't gone. They were out there, somewhere beyond the reach of council space, multiplying, growing, building, and someday, perhaps, they would return. But on that day, wouldn't be Earth they'd be fighting for. On that day, humanity would be the ones who decided who was welcome in the galaxy.